So back in 2022, I took this vaccine and I got very sick afterwards. I didn't get sick in the traditional sense of being sick. I didn't get like fever. You know, I didn't get any measurable symptoms like that. So if I went to a doctor, they would probably tell me, we're not sure what's going on. But I did feel I went from a person that was very self-confident to in about a week I was extremely anxious. I had a lot of brain fog, and later I also started developing other problems, like sleep problems and such, low energy. And fixing my sleep later became one of my ultimate goals, because in this time I remember I was still studying. I had to go to an internship in the morning. And then back then I was still kind of partying. I wasn't really taking this whole thing very serious, but I would, for example, it was Sunday evening, I would go to my internship Monday morning, and then, I would try to sleep, and then I would wake up about every hour or so. I didn't really think I was getting any decent quality sleep whatsoever. And then, you just wake up in the morning, you feel like shit, and you gotta go to your internship. You're kind of stressed during the night because you have to wake up early. The whole thing was terrible, to be honest. And then later on, I graduated, I was trying to find a job, and then the same thing happened. I wasn't really performing whatsoever, I wasn't really getting the jobs I wanted. Then I realized, man, I need to fix this if I ever want to succeed in anything, right? So I realized the first point I had to tackle was to figure out how to sleep properly. At the time, I felt that my body was very active in the night. I felt very uneasy, like a lot of tension was there. And the first thing I tried, back then I was just looking on forums for things to try out, was sunflower pea. No, it wasn't sunflower actually, it was soy derived phosphatidylserine, so PS for short. And this helped quite a bit because it works through lowering your cortisol, and then you basically feel more relaxed and at ease. And for me, it helped with a lot of the intrusive, like this obsessive thinking about not being able to sleep, waking up, and then checking the clock. What time is it? Oh man, I've only got 5 hours left. Waking up an hour later. Oh man, what time is it? Looking at this clock. Okay, I've only got 4 hours left. Just this obsessive thinking about it. That really got a lot better. So I was very happy to have used this supplement back then. But it didn't really fix the bodily tension or the waking up thing. I only figured this out later, and it isn't through taking any sleep supplement. It won't really be fixed by taking something like melatonin, because it's inherently not a circadian rhythm kind of thing. There's something going wrong in your body at that time that's making you just very wired, very uncomfortable, very tense. And it's not a hormone kind of thing. Like, it's not a melatonin kind of thing that you just take and then you sleep like a baby. No, I needed to figure out. It really felt like I was missing something, right? Like my body needed something that was missing, and that was creating this whole problem. So I tried potassium. And I will give a disclaimer before talking more about this, because high dose potassium can actually cause problems with the heart. So it can be dangerous to supplement potassium, so be careful with it if you do try it out. But I remember just the first times I took this potassium and I'm just sleeping. it was it's just a massive relief that you then finally find something that does work. So at the time I didn't really look into it, why it was working. I was thanking God that I found something. I have been looking into it a bit now, and I think it's because when you are under a lot of oxidative stress, just a lot of stress in general, your body also creates something called aldosterone. And when there is a lot of aldosterone in the body, the kidneys will start excreting potassium from the body, which then creates more stress. I think it actually has a kind of fight or flight mechanism behind it. So, because say you are in a situation and you need to fight, then you want to be tense, you want to be active, you want to be ready. Your blood pressure rises, your heart rate rises, and such. This is of course not something you want to have when you are trying to sleep. Aldosterone and the following excretion of potassium makes it so you get that vasoconstriction, you get that higher blood pressure, you get that feeling of wiredness, that tension. But I mean, that has to stop as well, right? And so my theory is that there is something in the body that is making it fight, and it's making it want to fight. There's something that's activating your body, or there was. Like for me, it was just this one-time thing. It was this vaccine that I then took that, and it didn't ever shut off, right? It was just constantly in the fight or flight mode. And then what follows is reactivity, mostly caused by mast cell priming and such. Like you cannot really eat things anymore, you cannot really drink things anymore. So what you want to do is get out of this state of fight or flight, and potassium does really help in that way because it will regenerate these potassium stores that your cells need for healthy functioning. At the time, my potassium intake was very low. So I think the RDA of potassium for males nowadays is about 3,500. It used to be higher, it used to be 4,500. I'm not entirely sure why they changed it by such a big margin. But it seems most people do not get enough potassium through their diet. A good way to find out if you are getting enough potassium through your diet is actually to get an app called Chronometer, which is, I think, is both on in the Apple ecosystem and on Android. And it's a food tracker, so you put in your foods, you also see your calories if you would like to know this. But the more interesting thing for me is that you can actually look at the amount of vitamins and minerals you're getting in through your food. And it will also show you how much potassium you're eating. And then you will know if you're getting enough or not, and if you could decide to supplement, or you could eat some, which I would recommend, just eat some high potassium foods and see how you're doing, maybe close to bedtime. So avocados, coconut water seems to be a very safe one, because avocados could actually activate your mast cells, giving you a whole different kinds, like a lot of different symptoms. So coconut water seems to be a safe one. Maybe a banana is relatively safe for me still. I eat a lot of bananas. So you could perhaps drink some coconut water before you go to bed, and then see if it helps your restlessness, your tension, your problems with sleeping, and like it did for me. So thank you for watching. If you've got any questions about this, do leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you.